Good morning. I'm meteorologist Kevin Smith at the National Weather Service in Pocatello. Welcome to Thanksgiving week. This is your weather hazard briefing for Southeast Idaho for Monday, November 25th. Looking at the week ahead here, a few key points. First, a break between storm systems continues today. We saw that for many areas yesterday as well. Dry conditions expected, some sunshine over a decent portion of the day, slowly transitioning into some thickening clouds here as our next system approaches. You'll see those clouds moving in, particularly this afternoon and this evening. Winds staying nice and light today. Overall, high forecast confidence in these conditions here through this evening. One more storm system on the way, and we say one more storm because we are seeing some hints in the longer term guidance that a big ridge of high pressure may start to build in and start to dominate more of our day-to-day weather here as we look out 5, 6, 7 days here into the future. This may be kind of our last broader, more organized, heavier storm for a little bit. We'll see how that plays out here as we watch guidance over the next few days. But one more storm, snow overspreading the region from southwest to northeast overnight tonight into Tuesday morning. We have issued some warnings and advisories now for this system. We'll take a look at that graphically here in just a moment. Slight increase in snow totals compared to our previous forecast, particularly as you get east of Interstate 15, south of Driggs. So we're talking the east central highlands down across the Bear Lake region. Saw those amounts tick up just a little bit. We are expecting, though, winds to stay light with this system. We're not expecting a lot of blowing and drifting compared to a lot of our typical Idaho snowstorms here. So most of the impacts we're going to see are really tied directly to that falling snow, producing slick travel conditions, reduced visibilities on the roadways, again, particularly across the south and east. Snow will end Wednesday morning and will trend a bit colder for a few days, unfortunately, for those of you who enjoyed some of our 40 and 50 degree readings here as of late. But again, we may be headed toward a quieter weather pattern here as we look a little further out. So some good news there. Weather risk outlook here for the next 5 days, breaking it all down by region. Again, quiet conditions today, maybe some isolated patchy fog as you get out into the Snake Plain and up toward Clark and Fremont counties, but not a widespread issue. Tuesday, this is our main impact day of the storm. We'll see that snow overspread the region overnight into Tuesday morning. Maybe some rain mixed in at times here in the Snake River Plain, the eastern Magic Valley, the South Hills Raft River region, a few of the other valleys down across our southern highlands to the Utah border as well with some marginal temperatures. Outside of that, though, snow expected to be the predominant precipitation type with this system, and we did highlight the most moderate impacts here in orange across the southeast highlands. Particularly places like Emigration Summit and Georgetown Summit. We'll take a look at that a little closer here in a moment as well. But that's where the highest snowfall accumulations are expected, and also some of the heaviest snowfall rates are expected with some impacts on travel there. Elsewhere, generally some nuisance impacts. Certainly practice your defensive winter driving. Slow down anytime there is falling snow or snow on the roads. Going into Wednesday, some lingering morning snow, slowly ending as we go toward midday. Maybe some snow into the afternoon, or at least some snow shower activity into the afternoon, continuing here in some of our eastern highlands, east of I-15. A few of those snow showers may continue up across the northeast here into Thursday as well. We're talking the Driggs area, the Teton Valley up into Fremont County, although a lot of this may just manifest as some low stratus clouds. We'll see if we're actually able to precipitate anything out of that. Generally, though, not expecting much in the way of weather impacts as we head into Thursday and into Friday. Here's a look at those new watches, warnings, and advisories we have out. Most of the region not really meeting our criteria, but as you head down here into the south and east, anywhere you see the purple shading is a winter weather advisory. That is our lower level of alert. That's for some inconveniences, some hazards on the roadways. Slow down, practice safe winter driving if you are out and about in the snow. Watch for some low visibility, some slick roadways. And then in the pink shading here over Emigration Summit and in the Bear River Range, stretching down into portions of northeast Utah, that is a higher level of alert, our winter storm warning in effect there for heavier snowfall amounts, higher accumulations, much more difficult driving conditions if you're down in that region here during this storm. Current satellite loop, you can see those mostly clear skies as we open up our Monday morning here in southeast Idaho. That blue shading you see up here in the northeast parts of Fremont County up toward Monida Pass along the Montana border. Some of that is some lingering low stratus clouds, and again, maybe some patchy fog in there. Expecting all of this to burn off here over the course of the morning. Nice and clear outside of that. You can see some white here, some moisture streaming in off the Pacific as our next storm system approaches the coast. Nothing on radar here in southeast Idaho for the morning, and we're not expecting anything on radar for the day. Again, one more day of break before we move that system in tonight. High temperatures here today, a little on the mild side pre-system. You can see some mid to upper 40s coming in across Boise and the Treasure Valley. Some of that reaching into Burley. Upper 30s to low 40s here in the Snake Plain for our population centers, 31 up in Island Park. I do apologize, some of our outlines did not load on these graphics as far as counties and other things that might help you actually see where you're located here. But look at the temperatures there over the course of this afternoon. Winter Storm Severity Index. This is kind of similar to some of our outlooks we do for severe weather and for flooding. This is trying to get a holistic sense of how much impact might we see out of this next winter storm. We may start showing this a little more often here in our briefings. You can see most of the region is in light blue. That just means there's a chance of some winter weather conditions, particularly some driving conditions there with snowfall impacting the roadways. And then you can see some yellow and orange appearing down here in the south and east, particularly the Bear River Range, Emigration Summit, a few of the higher elevations as you head into Wyoming and Utah as well. And that's where we'll see some increasing impacts, some greater disruptions due to those hazardous driving conditions in particular because of the heavier snowfall rates and amounts. Here's a look at our storm total snowfall expectations for this system. Again, really loaded down here in the south and east compared to the rest of the region. A little bit of a break compared to our recent systems up here in the Central Mountains. We're generally expecting a light coating to maybe a couple of inches as you head up the Wood River Valley and then up towards Stanley. Only a couple more inches than that here, even up in the Sawtooth Mountains. Just not a favorable trajectory for them with this system. Maybe a coating of snow, an inch here or there up the Snake Plain corridor. A lot of the heavier accumulations appearing here as you get from the Tetons and the Big Hole Mountains surrounding the Teton Valley down here across the Caribou Range, the Blackfoot Mountains, east of I-15, and then those highest amounts here down into the Bear River Range. You can see Bear River Range, we're expecting on the order of 5 inches to a foot. If you look at the roadways and Emigration Summit, some higher amounts, locally higher amounts up into the backcountry above Emigration Summit. And then anywhere you see the yellows here over in the east as well, some of those areas will be picking up 6 inches or more of snow out of this system. You can see this matches up quite well with where we do have those advisories and warnings in effect. Looking through the districts here, just trying to highlight some of the spots where we might have some roadway impacts. So this is the probability of seeing 2 inches or more of snowfall out of this system. And as we start out in District 4, again, snowfall we see out in this region is generally going to be quite light. That doesn't mean we won't see a few slick spots, but they should be shorter in duration and much less snow overall. Galena Summit, certainly probably will see some snow sticking to the road at some point. You can see the higher probabilities here down across Cassia County and the Raft River region are really up high in elevation, not affecting most of our highways. So a few slick spots, but generally expected to be much better off than what we'll see down toward Bear Lake. Going up to District 6, kind of a similar story, but you can see we start to increase these probabilities into the Teton Valley. 60% chance of exceeding 2 inches over Pine Creek Pass. You can see lower probabilities here as we head down into Swan Valley. Again, a few slick spots still possible at times, though, on these highways. And finally, as we head down to District 5, Emigration Summit, 93% chance you will receive much more than 2 inches of snow out of this system. Georgetown Summit getting up there in probability as well. So US 30, portions of Idaho 36, probably going to be the hardest hit as far as snowfall continuously accumulating on the roadways and creating some of the more hazardous driving conditions. Fish Creek Summit, at least a 30% chance of exceeding 2 inches there. We may see some of those slick spots also on Idaho 34 over here in Caribou County. So this southeast region here in District 5 probably going to be hardest hit over a longer duration than other areas in southeast Idaho. Here's a more detailed look at Idaho 36 over Immigration Summit. So as we start over here on the left side of the image, we're in Preston, and we can follow the highway and the associated elevation here as we head up over Immigration and then down into Montpelier over toward Bear Lake. And this is a look at the accumulations that we're expecting for storm totals. Again, this is very late tonight, focused on Tuesday and then continuing through Wednesday morning, about a 36-hour period of impacts here. So again, Immigration Summit, up to a foot of snow expected over that period as you get up there in elevation. High temperatures Tuesday are going to be colder. We're going to have some of that precipitation ongoing. We're also going to have a cold front associated with this system that is finally going to sweep across during the afternoon into the evening hours. It's not going to be terribly strong as far as wind. It's not really going to drop our temperatures drastically, but it will trend us cooler for the next few days. As we step into Wednesday, you can see high temperature readings only topping out in the upper 20s to near freezing. Shoshone, Burley might get a few degrees above freezing during the afternoon on Wednesday, and very similar on Thursday, with highs generally ranging from about 25 to 35 degrees across the region. But things quieting down, much lower impact weather as we head out into the latter part of the week. That's what we're looking at here for your hazard briefing this morning. As always, if you have questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to us here at our office using the information shown at the bottom of your screen. And everyone have a wonderful Monday.